Hi, this is Rocky Henriques at Utica Baptist Church, Utica, Mississippi. This is the Preacher's Rocking Chair. Um, there's a familiar verse to most of us that's found in Psalm 46. It's part of verse 10. It reads, "Be still and know that I am God." Josh Billings called Solitude a good place to visit, but a poor place to stay. He was talking about solitude. Another author stated that it is a great misfortune to be incapable of solitude. Henry David Thoreau called solitude that glorious society. The poet Carl Sandburg figured that we have not cultivated the habit of being of solitude because we are afraid of being alone. This is what he wrote. Shakespeare, Leonardo da Vinci, Benjamin Franklin, and Lincoln never saw a movie, heard a radio, or looked at a TV. They knew they had loneliness and knew what to do with it. They were not afraid of being lonely because they knew that was when the creative mood in them would mark. The German pastor Dietrich Bonhoeffer sensed a certain value of solitude when he wrote, "It is as though in solitude the soul develops senses which we hardly know in everyday life." It's important to understand, I think especially in these times, that there is a vast difference between being lonely and being alone. Philosopher and theologian Paul Tillich summed it up very nicely when he wrote this. Our language has wisely sensed the two sides of being alone. It has created the word loneliness to express the pain of being alone, and it has created the word solitude to express the glory of being alone. It's also important for us to distinguish, and I think especially now in these times, for us to distinguish between being alone with God in solitude and merely being alone. The man or the woman of God thrives on the times when he or she can be alone with God, just being still and quiet before Him. Robert H. Benson once wrote, "It is in silence that God is known, and through mysteries that He declares Himself." Remember the verse. Let's end with it. Psalm 46:10. "Be still and know that I am God." Take advantage of the time when you perhaps are still in quarantine. Develop that keen sense of solitude that comes from being with God. Be encouraged. Our God's still in charge.